Good afternoon, all. Thank you for your attendance at today's Ask Me Anything style webinar for the Career Accelerator in Product Management with King's College London. My name is Daniel Cairns. I'm the head of enrolments for FourthRev, and I'll take you through what we're going to experience today in the form of the webinar. Before we get to the main objective, which is to introduce and hear from a current student studying the Product Management Career Accelerator. So we here at FourthRev, for those of you that aren't aware or haven't spoken with an enrolment advisor as yet, we deliver life-changing experiences that combine the best, I guess, of career-focused education built with leading technology companies and coupling that with the academic rigor, value and certification of the world's best universities. And in this case, it's obviously King's College London. Today, we will spend a little bit of time at the commencement of the webinar giving an overview quickly of the program. We will then introduce our valued guest speaker and current student, Adam, with a quick understanding of his circumstances, his study experience, before we really try and get to relatively quickly the opportunity of you asking questions as well. Just so everyone is aware, this webinar is being recorded for distribution for those that can't make it in the future and other purposes. And if you have any questions, we ask that you do use the Q&A function down the bottom, and we're going to really try and get to as many of your questions as we can, of both myself regarding anything to do with the university and FourthRev, and Adam regarding the program, or myself to assist in that as well. One question we ask every guest, and we'll certainly ask this question of Adam in the future, when we get to that point in the webinar, but I'll ask myself this, or I'll give you an answer to this question because I'll ask him the same one, which is, what did I want to do when I was growing up? And I had a pretty firm belief early that I wanted to be a chef, funnily enough, and I'm a very mature man now. So it was many, many years ago I actually achieved my goal. But interestingly, the skills I learned, not so much cooking, but the skills I learned in a 5-star hotel are skills and service standards that we deliver now at FourthRev, treating learners like the customers that you certainly deserve to be treated like, and abiding by a customer experience excellence process that enables us to be very proactive in our support of students, which we can ask Adam more about also. To give you an idea of the Product Management Career Accelerator, we first understood and partnered with tech giants such as Atlassian and Dropbox and Linktree and others to understand what it was that industry needed in a modern product manager, especially in a digital context, before coupling that with the very best of academic underpinnings and rigor from King's College London. And the resultant outcome is this 6-month online, part-time, but extremely practical career accelerator that combines the best of learnings in terms of product management, but also the career skills and human skills that enable you to succeed in not only your current and future role, but every role into the future thereafter as well. As many of you would be aware, it is made up of 4 components. There's 3 courses running for 6 weeks each, and the learning outcomes from those 3 courses then enable your participation in a live industry or employer-facing project towards the end. So the 3 courses that run first are product management and strategy. We have product design and development, and then launching products to market, taking you through that process from ideation, concept, all the way through to validation, and all the things that go alongside that, with overseeing cross-functional teams, customer-centric values, ethics in product, all those things that employers certainly want and need before launching products to market, and the strategies surrounding that as well. 6 weeks each with a week reflection in between, culminating in, as I said before, your opportunity of participating in a live employer-facing project. To frame that quickly for you, teams of 4 or 5 high-caliber students, hopefully like yourself, will meet with one of our employer or industry partners. They'll present to you a product or a scenario or a challenge relating to a product, and as a team, you'll collaborate and come up with innovative and tangible solutions to that scenario, presenting your recommendations back to the client in a consultancy style presentation at the end. The benefits of that practical application of learning are numerous. Firstly, It is a brilliant way to apply your new skills in a safe yet realistic as an environment as can be. It is a deeper way to network with your fellow students, fellow learners, who some are employers and some are looking to move into roles, some are looking to change their careers, the majority are looking to change their careers, and certainly many are looking to advance their existing careers in product adjacent or actual product roles already. It is a brilliant way then to network with industry leaders who are often looking to recruit talent from those projects specifically, and we will have some certainly good stories coming out of that and the first student cohort very, very shortly as well, which we're most excited about. And lastly, I believe that if you're in an interview scenario, be that internally or externally, and you're asked about your learning or a program that you've undertaken, telling a story such as the project that you've worked on with industry is a much more powerful demonstration of your value to that potential employer or that role, say, than reciting what an exam result may have been previously. It's memorable. It is a powerful demonstration to say we met with X organisation, they threw this challenge towards us, we collaborated and come up with an innovative solution, and this is the potential impact, is something quite memorable and powerful. So that's the value of the industry project. Lastly, there's no exams in the Career Accelerator for the purpose of instead having value and productivity to your learning. And that is in the form of development of a portfolio of skills in the form of projects and presentations that are, again, once demonstrable to potential employers. You can demonstrate that. You can put those sorts of things on your LinkedIn profile, attracting more recruitment attention and so forth, but also demonstrate in a practical sense how you've gone through the course, what your achievements were, and a true demonstration of your quality of work as well. The upcoming program or presentation commences on the 30th of January. There is a 3-week onboarding process before the commencement of every program, and it is in depth, and we do go in depth with the support that you receive, but also that on that induction process. There is 2 layers of support, and I'd even argue that, and again, Adam will be able to confirm this, there's probably a 3rd layer in the peer support that we do create within that sense of community that is developed within the learning cohort, but also you're assigned a success manager. Your success manager, you'll develop a very close working relationship with, you'll meet with them regularly, and they'll be proactive in their support of you, getting to know you, reaching out proactively if they feel that you haven't logged on for the number of days and it's unlike you in your study habits, but being there to support with anything that you need to be successful in the program. The additional layer of support, and where we see so many inspiring outcomes in our existing career accelerators as well, is the coaching. There's an executive style career coach that you meet with on a regular basis, who will, during the induction period, guide you through an extensive goal setting process, but also understand things like values, aligning their coaching of you to what it is that your intended outcome is through undertaking this investment in yourself, be that a change of career, be that an advancement to your career, and there may even be some that are seeking to commence their careers. I'm really, really keen to ask Adam more about the value he's seen in the coaching already, but we do see an amazing amount of outcomes and alignment between the intended outcome and the coaching methodology that is employed by those very experienced coaches as well. It's a real centerpiece of the program and a great demonstration of the additional support that you will receive. Upon completion of the program, there is a certificate of completion awarded by King's College London. Throughout the program, you'll also experience numerous masterclasses in addition to the delivery mode, which is completely online, obviously. But we anticipate, and again, we'll ask Adam, about 12 hours per week that is designed to fit in with you more so than you fit in with university. So one night per week, there is a live and facilitated academic delivery session that is recorded if you can't attend, say it's your birthday or something similar. You can digest it at a time that suits you, but always best to attend live. And then the majority of the other remaining hours per week are completely up to you as to when and how you fit that study in with your life. We do have a number of opportunities remaining for the January presentation. However, we do cap numbers regarding the intake because of the personalised nature of the support and coaching. It's not designed for 200 or 300 people to enrol at a time. It's much more personalised than that. So the numbers are capped at around 60. Throughout the webinar, we encourage you to place your questions into the Q&A box. And as I said, we're going to get to as many as we can. I think I've covered just about everything. So I guess without further ado, I do want to take the opportunity of now introducing Adam into the webinar. Adam, welcome. I'll just test your microphone first. How are you?
Good, thanks.
By way of introduction, firstly, I do want to thank you once again for your time. It's a pleasure to have you a part of the webinar, but also more importantly, I guess, have you as a valued learner within the program. To introduce Adam very, very briefly, Adam has 15 years experience plus in the rail sector. He's currently an IT project and strategy manager seeking to change and progress his experience and skills into a product-facing role. He is a father of two, 8 months and 3 months. So I'm most interested to know how you juggle work. 3 years. Oh, sorry, 8 months and 3 years. That would be a bit close, wouldn't it? if we said that. But I will start first, Adam. I've got a lot of questions for you, but I will start first by asking, when you were younger than what you are now, what was it that you thought or wanted to be when you grew up, so to speak?
I can't remember what my kind of childhood aspirations were, but I did enjoy playing a lot with Lego Technic when I was younger, and loved that kind of control and automation of systems. And that's what I ended up doing at university, studying systems and control engineering. But I did really enjoy making websites. It was back in the early 2000s. It was like a hobby on the side. No one had ever given me any career advice. And I decided that I wanted to keep making websites as a hobby and not make that my career because I wanted it to remain fun. Lo and behold, I never did. And then when COVID hit and I was out of work for a few months, I got involved in making a website again. I was like, I really enjoy this. I might prefer to pursue that as a career. So over the last 3 years, I've been gradually moving into a more customer-facing space out of the more technical engineering world, into the more realm of digital products. I've always been a good generalist. I launched a startup company a few years ago, and I see like product management role as a like natural evolution of that generalist skill set applied to web, because look, I don't have the technical expertise to be able to build websites as well as professionals could, but certainly that providing that guiding mind and strategy in that space is definitely where I see my strengths.
That is fantastic, and most interesting too that you've followed that passion through, and we've got Lego to thank for that in many ways. We've actually got a student from Lego in our data program, which is quite fortuitous. I did want to ask, so you embarked on a journey then to consider a career in product more recently, I guess. Tell me about your journey to find the right program. You were looking at many, or did you find this one straight away, and what appealed to you about this one in particular?
There aren't many programs in product management, and I was starting to look a lot more at product management as a potential career avenue. Yeah, your very effective marketing caught my eye via LinkedIn, and having researched the course, the fact that it was very industry-led with practical content was a key factor in it. So there's lots of certifications out there where you can attend for 5 half days and you go, well, I might learn a lot. I could also just read a book. But this course, being more practical and having the involvement of people who've done the job before, being able to speak to them was a real key draw to that.
Brilliant. And then I guess you commenced in late September, early October, and you went through the induction process and then started learning. How do you manage to juggle, I guess, first your commitments to your family, first and foremost, your work, and now your study as well?
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise to me. I'm one of those lazy students well, traditionally was, where I would cram everything in the last few weeks of a university course and then ace an exam. I've always been very lucky in that respect. I was coming into this course thinking 12 hours a week. Nah, it's not 12 hours a week. Yeah, it's 12 hours a week. And and that's because so much of it is like there's learn and then work through some exercises that you might share with peers, that you might discuss on with peers, that it's not just a case of going read some content, watch some videos and absorb it all and go away. It's very much you need to commit some time, and you need to commit a block of time in order to do that focus. So juggling that, I've been going through quite a stressful period at work. There's a bit of transformation going on at work. It's been the autumn in England where everyone's got a cold or some other illness. I think I'm on my third or fourth now, just recovering from. So I'm quite good at focusing in the evening after having got the kids to bed, had some dinner, and then sit down for a few hours of study. You need to juggle things and preempt things. If you might be going away for a weekend, might need to make sure you do things earlier in the week to make sure that you can go away for the weekend and not panic that you haven't done the work. So keeping on top of the content has been trying to plan out better my week, what I'm going to be doing on which evenings I'm not going to be doing anything as well is also important. But yeah, the regular commitment is, I think, is the way to keep on top of the course. I couldn't have left it all to last minute. And the success manager, I've really valued, because I explained at the start that this is my normal learning style, and they help me to plan better. And I felt like the induction period of a few weeks kind of built those habits of regularly turning up to an online event and regularly engaging with other learners even before we started the learning process. So I was already starting to change my behaviors to be ready to learn. So that was a really useful period as well. But yeah, as Daniel mentioned, my success manager did check in when hadn't seen me do much, made sure I was okay on a little period, and the little pep talks. Well, we had a big assignment due, and I was worried about how much work there was, and he helped me put me at ease, and got a little email last Monday going, "You're doing great, keep it up," and yeah, all that helps just to keep motivated and keep working towards those goals.
That's fantastic and not surprising, but great to hear you get that treatment from, I think your success manager may be Eddie, is it?
It is.
Which is fantastic. We really value all the success managers that we have, but that's a really, really important part of the support mechanisms that we've put in place. In terms of the content, you've gone through the first course, product management and strategy. How practical did you find the content, and do you perceive ways in which to apply that learning to either role now or in the near future?
It's very practical. Tomorrow I'm running a workshop using all of the content of the first assignment. Wow. You didn't know I was going to say this as well. So a lot of it, the first assignment is building up to a business case for a new product or a feature being introduced for a scenario or for a hypothetical company that was an online streaming service, not at all related to what I'm doing, but learning some techniques, methods for exploring ideation, prioritizing solutions. So it's something that I've read about, but never had worked through before to know how to do it. So having gone through working up the assignment, I now feel I'm at least not just a total novice, more of a beginner level. And I was asked to run a product strategy workshop tomorrow. And I'm not a product manager yet, but I've been seen to be the guy to go to help the business that I work for explore this space. And yeah, basically the agenda for tomorrow's workshop is the content of this first assignment.
That's fantastic. Was that something that wouldn't have been something you're expecting to be able to use so soon?
Yeah, no, right. I only submitted the assignment on Monday. So yeah, it's
wow.
Really practical and really useful techniques.
And then have you had the opportunity yet to engage with your career coach? And how did you find that, if so?
Invaluable. So I mentioned we were having a bit of a transformation at work, which has caused me to question what my short-term career goals are as well, whether I should be seeing my future where I work right now, or whether I should be looking for other product opportunities elsewhere. And she's been really useful at helping me to frame what I want to achieve, what I value out of a career, or even out of life, and invaluable coaching through my CV, through creating a cover letter for applying for a job, looking at what, from a different lens, what the hiring manager at a target company might be looking for. And then we did a bit of a matching exercise to see whether how well my CV could apply for those types of roles that I might be interested in. And then we went so far as to submit an application. It's okay, I've already told HR. So it was really a really useful process to have that coach through it. My CV totally changed. I already thought I had a good one, but she helped me bring a whole new perspective to it, a much more product perspective. I had no product manager experience on my CV, but there was elements that I could draw out and tell that story that explain why I was right for the role. So it was really useful to have that career coach. I even recommended her to a peer of mine who was also looking for a new opportunity, and said, go and check this person out. They're really, really helpful. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I think another great demonstration of that level of support and commitment that we have to have people not only obtaining the learning outcomes, but those career-focused life skills that ensure success moving forward as well. Just so everyone's clear, also, there's numerous career coaching, one-on-one coaching sessions that you have and can schedule throughout the course, and even for individuals that may want to apply for roles now like you can front load some of them or stagger them sooner, and those that want to get through the program and then apply for roles, they can stagger them later or even after the program, which provides that degree of flexibility in that as well. Couple of other quick questions before we do get, and just a reminder for everyone to pop their questions in the Q&A more so than the chat, because I'll be jumping into the Q&A section very, very shortly. But tell me about your peer groups. How connected do you feel, and what do you feel the caliber of your fellow student is like? What's, everyone's always interested in what type of person am I studying with, or how connected do you feel with them, and what's the caliber of fellow student like?
It's a very diverse student group. I don't know what the gender balance is, but I think it's more female biased.
Yeah, it's 60-40.
Lots of people living overseas, lots of people living in the UK who aren't originally from the UK. So some people using English as a second language. Some people who are looking for a total career change, having never worked in the digital space before. Some people are a little bit close to that space, like myself, already working in an IT context, some as software engineers, some as project managers. So there's a very different perspective that comes through in discussions, which, yes, there's a whole range of, say, background awareness of what product management is. Some might have never encountered the role before, and some have worked in it adjacent to it. Or some have read some books like me. It's really diverse. We have as part of the kind of facilitated or taught sessions through these online classrooms. It's a really great classroom platform that's used that lets us break out into tables and have group discussions on certain things. So we're working through things together, start to get to know a bit of the background of some people and their family circumstances. And, it's hard when it's remote, but from those interactions, I think some people found it comforting to hear that I also have young children. And so, some people thought they might be the only one on the course trying to juggle with young children, but actually a lot of us are trying to juggle with young children. They often turn up in some of the lectures and things just in the background. So yeah, there's the online communities we also use as like a discussion forum or like a private version of Facebook or whatever to be able to share and collaborate. So there's a lot of top discussions on the course material, but also inspiring things that people might have seen, interesting reading. So yeah, it's quite a good peer group of people on the program.
Brilliant. We've also spoken with many candidates, both, I know there's at least a few in the first cohort, and definitely some coming from the second into the second, commencing in January, where the intersection we're finding between physical and digital is blurring a lot. And what I mean by that is a can of Coke, for example. I hope I got the product right then. There's often a QR code that takes you to a digital app or competition page or whatever it may be. There's so much of that crossover now. So we're getting a lot of product managers moving, doing this to move into the digital space, but there's also some that will take the principles from this and apply it in a physical sense as well. There's some amazing backgrounds of people, I think, that is the most diverse aspect of it from all different sectors and careers. And I know some of the career changes are complete career changes, where others like yourself aren't quite complete career changes. You're exposed to a lot of PM already. But do you feel that you need a lot of technical knowledge in the program, or is it accommodating of those looking to overarch from a PM perspective and manage those with the technical capabilities more so? Yeah,
I haven't come across anything technical so far. It's really about the why and the rationale and exploring the kind of direction of product from a more customer facing space. So no need to have coding experience. I don't think that would help at all at this stage, as far as I've seen. So yeah, it's very much a product management from the strategic perspective between business goals and customer goals.
Brilliant. I hope that rests a lot of minds at ease that worry about needing much of a technical background. Lastly, what aspect of the program do you find most useful so far? I think you've probably touched on a few of these points already, or maybe even I'll throw a little bit of a left field one at you. Is there anything you wished you knew before you started, if you're in that decision-making process, or something that may help the audience in relation to their decision-making process?
I hadn't quite realized how practical it would be. I've seen this as thinking that from my academic background, that it would be a lot more taught. It is taught, but I thought that there would be more emphasis on that. The thing that surprised me most is the more practical, the engaging with peers on the topics during the course. I was surprised that was a big thing, and it is a big thing, and it's good. The peer review task, I think, is the thing that most surprised me. It was an exercise to complete where you then submit your exercise to someone else for them to comment on, whilst you also receive someone else's to review. And then I thought I'd done a pretty good job, but having seen someone else's and also having someone's comments on mine, I realized I really got the wrong end of the stick. And that peer review, just knowing that it helped me take a different, reflect on what I'd done, and really kind of grounded me a little bit. I thought that I probably was doing a good job, and actually I needed to go back and look again at a lot of what I'd done and go, actually, I think I've missed the mark in a few places. So from that point, I started really valuing that peer interaction a lot more, and really engaging with it, the peer discussions. I think that's been the most useful, almost surprising thing that I didn't expect to find, and where I'm getting a lot of value is from that peer engagement on the course.
That's brilliant. I'm really, really impressed to hear that, because it can be daunting, I think, also, but in a structured environment which is provided, it should be and can be, as you've just articulated, invaluable in that regard. I think also the value of that of going through the program together as a community and as a cohort, getting to know each other better and better, and then working on a project together at the end, you're going to have a much more expansive network, not just with your peers, obviously, but also industry experts and leaders as well. And that's in a growing profession such as PM, which is still relatively young. I mean, product management's been around for forever and a day, but digital less so. So the networks in which you'll carry through for life are going to be invaluable from both the peer and industry perspective as well.
I think our group's having a meetup in London tomorrow, as well as those who are in London are meeting up together somewhere.
I love hearing that. That's fantastic. Christmas eggnog or something, or mulled wine.
I'm in Bristol,
all of the above.
I won't be attending. But if I was in London,
fair enough too. Just checking on time. We might, if it's okay now, move to open questions from the audience. Looking at some of these, I will answer some and obviously pose some to yourself. I won't ask how someone has asked the question about funding for the course. I won't ask you directly how you funded, but I'll ask you more about the cost of the program and the value, I guess, in that regard. There's flexible payment terms that we offer in terms of discounts for upfront payment, 6, 9 or 12 monthly payment plans. But do you feel that there is value given the investment of £6,000 into the learning for the program as well?
Yes, and I don't mind asking the question about how I funded the program. Well, I had some cash in the bank and saw it as an investment in my career. I know my employer can fund courses, and I found the paperwork, but I didn't fill it in yet. So there's some changes going on within the organization, and once they've gone through, I will fill in the paperwork and see if they can make a contribution, because certain people in the business wanted to make a contribution and others didn't. So it's got to be a little bit sensitive. But I was fortunate enough to have some money in the bank to be able to pay for this, and saw it as a stepping stone to a future role that would be on a higher salary, and therefore, by funding this course and getting a higher salary role, hopefully within 12 months of completing the course, then I would be able to basically cover the cost of the course as an investment. Has it been valuable? Yes, it has. I'm hopefully going to achieve that future career step sooner. I can't announce anything, but it's in the works apparently for me to get that step up into a formal PM role, which I think this role helped demonstrate to my employer that I was committed to taking on a new, setting up a new PM function within where I work. We don't do product management today, and so yeah, I think it was definitely worth paying for myself personally.
That's fantastic, and please keep us up to date with that potential outcome, because that would be amazing. You're 6-8 weeks into the program, but you're demonstrating the commitment and obviously the application of learning already, showing a return on investment. And you made a good point. If you do get a pay rise in a new role, be it product adjacent for those taking a stepping stone towards a PM role or straight into a PM role, it pays for itself, hopefully with the pay rise. But then the ongoing return on investment is ever more after as well. We have to get through lots of questions. I'm so delighted that there are so many. So let's whip through a few. In your opinion, what types of jobs and companies can people expect to apply for or work with following the course? It's broad, I know, and I'm happy to take that up furthermore afterwards. But I mean, so many companies now with their digital transformation need PMs.
One of the exercises on the course was to take a look at some PM job descriptions and remark about what kind of things were common or which kind of were different. And I hadn't realized just how diverse the product management space is, from whether someone's working in a consultancy, working with lots of clients, to being in-house managing a company's digital product, or someone who's kind of overseeing some suppliers who will be delivering the products. I think it depends on how much transferable skill you might already have as to what level you would go in as a product manager. If you're coming from a totally different space like fashion design, then maybe there's coming in at a PM level somewhere. Might be, there may be some transferable skills, but it's kind of really junior from a product management space, through to someone who's transferring from being a senior project manager, as I am, who've been working in a bit of product space, can maybe aim a little bit higher as a result of this career accelerator. It's like, so not entering at the bottom of product management, but going at a more mid-level. So yeah, the whole range of sectors are employing product managers. Yeah, a lot of different types.
I think it's
working on.
And if that's brilliant, thank you. And if people are interested, there is a blog post regarding the most in-demand tech careers on our website, on the FourthRev website, and it's really well worth reading. And also an exercise that we also ask people to do sometimes is type in product management in the job section of LinkedIn and just see how many thousands of jobs there are across basically every sector and type of employer. I'm going to answer the next two. Do you have any reviews on previous students who have done this course before? Because it says here, most hiring managers agency, in my experience, won't hire anyone without real experience. So that's why this is so practical in its nature and application, is to demonstrate and have a portfolio of evidence to demonstrate to a potential employer that you do have experience, be that academic in this regard or be that in the industry project. And that dovetails into the next one around how is your experience with live industry projects. The first cohort that Adam is a part of hasn't yet started the industry project phase. They've just finished course 1 and submitted their first assignment. They're commencing course 2 after Christmas. They'll do course 3 and then the live employer-facing project. We have had employer-facing projects with our other career accelerators, and they're just inspiring in the way that they look at strategic challenges that industry really face and provide solutions to them. So we'll have a lot more information on that coming up shortly as well. Someone anonymous has mentioned here, in their experience, it shows that companies are reluctant to hire people without knowledge in the technical computer science areas or fields. Does this course bridge gaps, and to what extent? And are there statistics on how valuable it is in improving competitiveness in the job market? I guess you touched on that earlier. I'll ask you, Adam, again, to reiterate for this particular question, how it's an overarching view of product management in the role in which you're managing cross-functional teams. Explain that once more, if you can, just so everyone's clear that it is non-technical, but you are set up to succeed in managing the operations of a product.
There are some PM roles that are advertised as technical product managers, and they, from what I've seen, tend to be where the product may be an API or a service that's consumed by another business, and real technical integration is important to understand. But for most product manager roles, there's a tech team. And you got the stakeholders, such as in software development, in solution architecture, and they'll be the ones who are kind of telling you whether the solution is technically feasible or not. If you can speak a little bit of the same language and understand some of their jargon, it might help bridge that gap. But really, your role as a product manager is the generalist, so assimilating information from all stakeholders across business, commercial stakeholders through to customer stakeholders, and the technical team who would be able to say, how much effort is it to build what you think it is? Is it even feasible at all? So it's really, you don't need those skills yourself. The skills is to be able to speak to a broad range of stakeholders and understand what their concerns might be, and how that might affect what you want to do with the product. But you don't necessarily need to have those skills yourself at all, because there are people who specialize in those areas, and they're who you lean on because they're the experts.
Exactly, and it's guiding them towards sometimes non-customer facing roles, understanding the customer implications of their work. All those sorts of things are really, you've answered that really, really well, and I hope that satisfies the question from the anonymous guest there. I do have 2 questions that I'm going to fold into one, and I like this. We could easily skip over these types of questions in a webinar, but we're not going to. someone's mentioned that it's a trick question, and they've said if there's one thing why it is not worth taking this course, what would it be? Or Helen has also mentioned what could be improved in the course. So can we condense those two together? I know you're only a quarter of the way in so far, but in your opinion, what could be improved?
I've given lots of bits of feedback actually throughout the course. I've had the opportunity to suggest how it can make the learning experience easier, to be able to manage time better. I think there was some feedback I gave around, we've got all of the module content. It gets released on a weekly basis. The first thing I do is go and skim each of the content pages and understand whether there's a task in there and it says this task should take 45 minutes. It always takes 45 minutes. It sometimes takes longer because I get distracted and go and apply that new knowledge or skill to something that I looked at the other week at work. And so I can often end up spending a lot longer on a task than I think I should. So one of the things that I like to do is understand where all those little tasks and exercises are and how much effort has been estimated to carry those out. But what's missing, which I would really value, is a summary table that says within this week's material, like this is the length of all the different content bits, these are the lengths of the exercises. So almost I don't need to go digging into everything, that I've already got that view at the top. Because once I've dug into everything, it puts a tick against it saying I've read it, which I haven't because I haven't really read it. So that was a little bit of feedback, which is more practical around the learning,
I like that you're looking at it from a product perspective as well. Really, it is a product, isn't it? We hire product managers here at FourthRev as well. That's fantastic. There is questions here regarding, will this program help me accomplish my mission in life? I'm going to answer that offline because I know I have a meeting booked with that individual, but they're asking also about fitting it in with studying as well. That individual question, I think, is I'll answer individually. We've got questions flying through. This is fantastic, and please, put in as many as you can because we've still got another 10 minutes before I wrap it up. This might be for me, but if you can elaborate on this as well. What help do learners get in securing employment during or after the program? I guess we've touched on the career coaching aspect, and I'm happy to discuss more around the employment opportunities that are generated furthermore. But do you have anything to add there as well?
There was an expert roundtable with product managers working in industry, and they mentioned that they were hiring. So it's those other, as Daniel mentions, the networking opportunities to meet some product managers and understand, make connections to know who might be going to hire, who might be going to expand their product team. Yeah, that was a useful thing because if I was in that area, I would definitely be definitely picking up a conversation with that person about potential future roles because it seemed like an interesting company to work for.
And there'll be a lot more as well, I guess, both with recruitment companies, with leaders or very experienced PMs and leaders of organisations hosting masterclasses along with Professor Smithies and the faculty as well. Just to expand on that topic a little bit more, there is a great deal of employment outcome opportunities generated through engagement with industry, as Adam's mentioned, but also as we build into the program. The peer-to-peer networking is also an opportunity for that, but also that final industry project where you're really exposed to people looking to recruit talent. I think what is different though is we won't ever turn around and say, you will get an internship, you'll get a job, or we will guarantee this. We won't, because what we will do is give you every tool, be that through the learning outcomes, through the support, through the coaching, and through the networks, to empower you to achieve your intended employment outcome. And that, as I said before, is even with the flexibility of the coaching. In fact, just very quickly for everyone, one of the program, the Career Accelerator model, has been running for quite some time with another university. And one of the coaching outcomes there was that someone that applied for their dream job, and it went through a 5-stage interview process. And the coach actually prepped that candidate for each of those 5 interviews, and she got the role. Not only was it a dream role, but it was double the salary of what she was expecting as well. Thank you for that, and we're happy to have your enrolment advisor always elaborate on those opportunities further when you catch up with them. In terms of, there's a couple here in terms of what day of the week do you have your live session? And I'm not sure if that's set for January yet, but we'll certainly let everyone know. What night do you have your live session?
There's actually two. One's on a Wednesday lunchtime in this slot, which I knew I was free. And there's also on a Thursday evening, and I prefer the lunchtime slot due to trying to juggle kids' bath times, but I have done the evening slots as well. So yeah, so having two choices I found quite helpful of when we do that. And there's one time I couldn't attend and watch the recording back. It's not the same when you're not participating in the roundtable discussions. So very much making the time to be there is worthwhile. And
how do you find the facilitators of those sessions?
Very useful, not only just to explore it's always related to the module of that week, right? The content that we've been studying offline. Usually I haven't. I'm doing it after the facilitated session, so I'm usually coming in with it a little bit blind. So it's an opportunity to start to appreciate the content and to engage in discussion around it. Some people have already read it and have lots and lots of questions, and that's also useful as well. Useful to just to explore some of the finer points where things might need clarifying. Facilitators be
and they bring an industry lens
yes.
to that teaching as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're all those facilitators that we've had involved have worked in industry and are working in industry.
That's important. Someone's asked about pass ratio fail. I can't answer that as yet. They've just submitted their first assignments and presentation, so we will know that shortly. But what we do know is that of the those that commenced, there was only 2 so far. One's deferred and one experienced some economic challenge. So the cohort is going through at like 96, 98% progression, which is absolutely sensational, and we're really, really proud of that. So there's no real big attrition or anything like that some online courses experience. I guess that's because of the support, number one, but also the relevance of the learning. I mean, that's a really, really important aspect of it.
I think actually on one of the things that I was advised as part of the assignment is it's not about a right or wrong answer, because everyone could have a different opinion based on different views on evidence of which direction a product should be going in. It's not to try and find the perfect answer for the product, but more around, can you follow a methodology to make evidence-based recommendations, and can you make those recommendations clear? So it's I wouldn't say it's hard to fail. I hope it's not hard to fail, and that everyone who's been able to engage with the content and follow it should be able to pass. And it's about applying that methodology and working through the exercise and being able to bring that all together in a submission.
That's a really, really good point. And I think this is, there's some other questions down here around the course difficulties at degree level 1 to 5 and things like that. But what you just touched on is really important. It's not the traditional model of content, cramming, examination. You're working on this throughout the 6 weeks and guided throughout it to correct your course through the peer review, all those sorts of things that we've touched on. So it's not as if it's a examination scenario where you've got one chance to get it right or wrong. You actually work on this over a period of time. But given what you've studied previously, we know where this is designed to fit between bachelor and obviously master's level, that postgraduate level. Is it that, do you feel? It's different because it's so practical, but it's certainly, well, you need a degree to get in, so it's pitched at that postgraduate level.
Yeah, I would say it relies on, I'd say you could probably do it without a degree.
Yeah,
it's got that bachelor to master's level, but having already had some background in formal learning will help you.
Academia, yeah. Do you feel at all that you're disadvantaged not being based in London?
No, but I've been working remotely for 3 years now, and mostly working from home, and I'm used to being remote, and all of the platform and all the learning is set up for being remote. The meetup that's happening tomorrow in London is purely social. No one has needed to meet up. It's not there's no disadvantage for being remote at all. And I think there's one of the participants is living in Amsterdam. One was in Hong Kong for a while. People are remote.
That's the way of the world too. Nowadays, especially. Last call for questions. We've got 4 minutes of questions left. I think we've touched on this one. How much do you find the course value for money? You've already touched on that. The assistance in supporting employer. Favourite class or teacher, or why? Or it's a bit hard to say that so far, I guess, in terms of doing the one unit thus far. So we might defer that to another future one, or if there's another way you feel you can answer that question, that might be good. I'm just going through some last questions here. How important are communication skills as an area for improvement for this question, this attendee?
We had to give a presentation as part of the assignment as well. There was some content around how to present, things to consider, which I tried to apply when I was recording my presentation. I wouldn't say that great communication skills are essential, but what you might find is that your communication skills will improve through being on the course, through being able to structure your ideas better, to have the justification, having worked through the thinking rather than a lot of how I've been working in companies before where someone's got an idea and an opinion that it's a good idea, but being able to formally explain why your idea is perhaps better because it's evidence-based and aligns with strategy and aligns with the product direction. And so you will develop the ability to communicate better as a result of being on the course.
Brilliant. Whipping through a couple of other ones. For beginners, do you feel there is enough teaching time in the course, the weekly teachings?
A lot of the learning is offline at the time that suits you. But that doesn't mean it's all just text. There are some things that are video, and there are things that are interactive. Myself, I turn on a screen reader. Actually, I find that I take in the information better sometimes when I hear the words read out.
Yep.
I feel like any more scheduled time would make it harder for me to learn. But yeah, I feel like there's enough content that keeps me entertained for 12 hours a week.
Wonderful. Yes, Helen, there are live classes. You've got a choice of lunchtime or evening. Anonymous has asked about the certificate you receive. It is a certificate of completion with King's College London. And how would you say it compares to an undergrad course? We've touched on that one as well. It doesn't yet have university credits attached to it because it is a certification, not a qualification, but watch this space in that regard. Lastly, top tip. What are your 3 top tips for the attendees in deciding whether to apply for the program or not? Keep it to 1 or 2 if you need to, but if you've got 3, even better.
Make sure that you have the ability to commit the time to the course. I found myself playing too many computer games, so I knew I had some spare time that I could be better applying. My computer game playing has dropped as a result of being on this course.
So it's about a sacrifice in some ways, but a commitment. Yeah, of course. Anything worthwhile is. Yeah.
Another aspect is to make sure you got some resilience in your lifestyle. So I have been away for weekends, but I've needed to plan my week to make sure I got my studying in before going away for a weekend. And I'm going to attempt to do a ski holiday in January, and I'm daunting that because I'm going to have to do a lot of work in advance. Please release the content early, so that I can do that. So it's really about being able to know that you can commit the time. Even it might not be 12 hours a week every week, Some weeks it might be more or less. There is that flexibility in the course to do that. Very few things are time bound, but yeah, making sure you've got that, that you will be able to manage it. So it is a big commitment.
Brilliant. It is, and that's 6 months of investment for a lifetime of return in that regard, if you're looking to either change careers or advance your career in product management. I would like to say thank you, Adam. I'm going to finish up the webinar with a little overview about our Head Start package that is available to people as well. But personally, thank you. It's been really, really enlightening learning from you about your experience in the program that I'm sure everyone else will agree has helped them hopefully clarify some of the questions that they may have about their investment in themselves. So thank you ever so kindly. I really look forward to, number one, hearing furthermore about any job outcomes that you alluded to, but secondly, witnessing the rest of your progress throughout the program and your career trajectories after that. Thank you, Adam, ever so kindly.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Lastly, for everyone else, thank you ever so kindly for your attendance. It's been brilliant to see so much interaction, so many people in attendance that are looking to commit potentially to themselves and invest in themselves through the program. We do want to advise people that there is a Head Start package available and an extension to that for those that have attended today, and that includes an additional one-on-one coaching session with one of the career coaches to really help you frame how this may assist your future, but also to get that head start to 2023. There will be an exclusive webinar in January also for those that are committing to the program. And there's also, to help the freezing cold conditions over there, I believe a King's hoodie available for those that are going to study as well. What I do implore you to do is to, in the chat function there is a functionality to book a time to meet with your enrolment advisor. And there's a fantastic team with Sylvie, with Matthew, with myself, and additional enrolment advisors that really care. They do take great care in their guidance of you. They have empathy for your own circumstances. They're not there to just go enroll. They will guide you through your decision-making process with your best intentions at heart. Please click that link and book a time. I will make my calendar available for those that I've spoken with before next week. I'm on leave, but there will be options to book me, and I might even do those appointments or hand you to Matt and Sylvia where you're in most capable hands there. I think I've covered just about everyone. I do ask that everyone also provide some feedback. We as Adam has already provided and mentioned, that we do seek feedback all the time throughout the course. We also seek feedback about events such as this. So you will be asked to provide some feedback as we always want to learn and grow for future events. I think on the success of this one, we certainly will be hosting additional student-led Ask Me Anything style webinars. The next probably been in January. Get your appointment with your enrolment advisor. Please do go through the application process. Just to finish on that, all that is required is an upload of your certificate from your bachelor degree and a 500-word, one-page personal statement that we've got templates that will assist you in completing. We just want to know your story on a one-page around the personal statement. It helps us assess the application with King's, but in doing so, it also helps your success manager and career coach know more about you before they even have their first meeting, enabling them to treat you much more like a customer than a student. This is recorded. There will be some additional useful content shared with you in the next few days. And if you've missed any part of it, the full recording will be available and timestamped on our YouTube channel. You'll be notified of that as well. I think we've done it to the minute, Adam. Thank you once again, my friend. All the best. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year for everyone. Stay warm, stay healthy, and thank you ever so kindly for attending this Ask Me Anything webinar with Adam and myself, Daniel, on the Product Management Career Accelerator with King's College London and FourthRev. Have a great day.